Welcome back, Power Players. This is episode 5 in our series breaking down the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Today's law, one that might sound old school but is more relevant than ever. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life.
Yeah, reputation. A single word that holds your entire history, your perceived value, and sometimes your future, all in how others talk about you. It's not just how you see yourself, it's how you're remembered, positioned, and discussed when you're not in the room.
Exactly. And in the game of power, reputation is currency. Greene makes it clear, if people respect your name, doors open. If your name is damaged, even if your work is good, the world gets quieter. The invitations stop.
What's wild is that reputation can take years to build and seconds to lose. One wrong move, one misstep, one rumor, and suddenly the story about you changes, and people believe the story, not the truth.
And Greene doesn't sugarcoat it. He says flat out, your reputation is a shield. It protects you in negotiations, in conflict, in competition. People think twice before crossing someone who has a strong, consistent image.
Because reputation creates predictability. When people know what you stand for, or what you appear to stand for, they move differently around you. They watch their words. They adjust their posture. That's power.
But here's the thing, reputation isn't just built by action, it's shaped by perception. You can do everything right, and if people perceive you the wrong way, your image suffers. That's why Greene says you have to guard it with your life.
Meaning, you can't get comfortable. You can't assume that your reputation will protect itself. You have to defend it, monitor it, correct the narrative when necessary, not by shouting, but by moving strategically.
And I love that Greene doesn't say build it, he says guard it, which tells us once you've earned a name, your job isn't done. The real work begins in preserving it, because people will test it, enemies will target it, and the second they find a crack, they'll go in.
Especially in competitive environments. If your reputation intimidates, someone will try to stain it. It's easier to bring you down than to rise themselves, so they'll attack your image to level the field.
And sometimes it's subtle, a whisper, a joke, a small dig that plants doubt in someone else's mind. And if you don't protect your image, that doubt grows, and your name starts to lose weight.
That's the danger. People stop seeing you and start seeing the version of you that others created. And if you don't own your narrative, someone else will.
So, how do you build a solid reputation? Not the fake kind, not the curated version, but one that actually holds weight? It starts with consistency. You become known by what you repeat, not what you intend.
Exactly. People don't remember your goals, they remember your patterns. Show up late a few times, you're unreliable. React emotionally in meetings, you're unstable. Deflect responsibility, now you're untrustworthy. It doesn't take much to build or damage a reputation.
And in today's world, everything is amplified. One screenshot, one viral post, one misunderstanding, and suddenly your name is attached to something you didn't even mean. That's why Greene says you have to treat your reputation like armor.
It's like walking around with your personal brand exposed 24/7, not just online, but in every room. Every conversation, every email, every small decision is either reinforcing your name or eroding it.
And the crazy part? It's often the smallest things that shape the biggest impressions. The way you respond under pressure, the way you talk about others, the way you carry yourself when no one's watching. That's where reputations are really formed.
And it works in reverse, too. If you're known for being sharp, reliable, fair, people will defend you when your name is under attack. That's when you know your reputation is working for you, not just sitting in the background.
Yeah, it becomes your silent advocate. It enters rooms before you do. People say, she's solid, or he doesn't play games. And just like that, you gain access, opportunity, trust, without having to prove yourself all over again.
But let's be clear, that kind of reputation takes time. You don't build it by chasing image. You build it by making strong, aligned decisions over and over, even when no one's watching.
And guarding it doesn't mean becoming obsessed with what people think. It means knowing what you stand for and not moving out of alignment just to please the moment. It's long game thinking.
It also means
being selective with your associations. If your name is tied to people who move recklessly, who manipulate, who burn bridges, their damage reflects on you. Reputation is contagious.
And sometimes protecting your name means walking away, not responding to gossip, not trying to prove yourself in every situation. There's power in letting your work and your history speak louder than your reaction.
Because people are always watching, not just when you win, but when you're tested. How you handle pressure, setbacks, or disrespect, that's where your real reputation is built.
One of the most underrated skills when it comes to protecting your reputation is learning how to handle attacks without falling into the trap. Because, let's be honest, the more visible you are, the more likely someone will come for your name.
Facts. And the first instinct is often to defend ourselves, to explain, to go on the offensive. But Greene makes it clear, the smarter move is to act like your reputation is unshakable. If you panic, if you overreact, you confirm the attack has weight.
Exactly. Silence, or even measured confidence, sends a different message. This is beneath me. My name speaks for itself. And that drives people crazy, especially your critics. They want a reaction. They feed off your energy.
And sometimes the best way to protect your name is to let them talk. While they're throwing dirt, you're leveling up. And soon their words don't stick because your actions have built something stronger than their noise.
But of course, there are moments when you do have to respond, strategically. Greene suggests attacking back only when the hit is serious enough to cause real damage. And when you respond, it should be with precision, not emotion.
Yeah, never defend out of desperation. Defend like you're correcting the record. Calm, brief, and sharp. One clean counterstrike is more powerful than a drawn-out debate, and it protects your energy, too.
This also reminds me of reputation as a form of leverage. If your name is strong, just the threat of a response can silence opposition. People think twice before crossing someone who's known for being respected, sharp, or unshakable.
It's like a silent warning. You don't have to say it. They know because your history speaks, your presence speaks. That's why guarding your reputation is a daily discipline. It builds a force field around your name.
But here's the deeper part. Protecting your reputation also means protecting your integrity, not performing for optics, not creating a fake image that cracks under pressure. Your name should be rooted in truth, not just strategy.
That's key. Reputation without substance is a house of cards. The moment real pressure hits, it collapses. But when your name is backed by real weight, discipline, character, consistency, then it becomes indestructible.
And let's not forget, there's a difference between reputation and popularity. Popularity is loud, fast, and fragile. Reputation is quiet, steady, and built to last.
Yes, one gets you attention, the other gets you access. Power doesn't flow to the loudest, it flows to the most respected. And respect is earned, guarded, and sometimes fought for.
Let's zoom out a bit. When you look at the real power players, CEOs, political figures, legacy creators, their reputations are their leverage. It's what makes deals happen behind closed doors, what earns them trust before a single word is spoken.
That's the invisible currency. You walk into a room, and before you speak, your name has already done half the work or half the damage. That's why Greene is so intense about this law. In high-stakes environments, reputation is everything.
And here's the thing, it's not just about being liked. In fact, being too liked can sometimes weaken your edge. It's about being respected, about people knowing you have standards, values, and the ability to enforce them.
Yes, people might not agree with you, they might not even like you, but if they respect your name, they move carefully around you, and that's what matters. That's power.
And in business, your reputation is often worth more than your product. If your name is solid, people will take risks on you. They'll invest, partner, refer, listen, because they trust your character, not just your skill set.
Same in leadership. People follow leaders they believe in, and that belief comes from watching how consistent you are, not just when things go right, but when things fall apart. That's when your reputation either rises or dissolves.
I think that's one of the biggest misunderstandings. People assume your reputation is built during your wins, but it's actually forged in how you lose, how you handle setbacks, criticism, failure, betrayal.
Exactly. Do you stay grounded? Do you stay fair? Do you take responsibility or throw others under the bus? All of that gets remembered and repeated, and the repetition is what becomes your brand.
And in the world of power, reputation spreads faster than fact. People won't always check your resume, but they'll always check your name. They'll ask, what's the word on this person? That word is your real resume.
So what does that mean for us? It means we have to treat our reputation like an asset, track it, manage it, refine it, not for vanity, but for strategy, because once you've lost control of the narrative, it takes 10 times the energy to get it back.
And not everyone gets the chance to recover. That's the brutal truth. Some people don't bounce back from a hit to their name, not because they weren't capable, but because they didn't act fast enough to protect it.
So if you're listening to this and thinking, I've been too casual with my reputation, good. That awareness is power. Now you move differently. Now you speak, act, and align with intention.
Because once your reputation becomes an extension of your identity, not just something you perform, but something you embody, that's when you become untouchable.
So let's land this. Law 5. Guard your reputation with your life. It's not just about playing defense. It's about being aware of what your name represents at all times. It's about intention.
Because here's the truth. People may not know your full story, but they'll judge your cover. They'll react based on the image your name carries. And if you're not actively managing that image, someone else will manage it for you with their assumptions or their agenda.
And we see that every day. Someone gets taken out not by failure, but by a damaged image. The work was good, the value was real, but their name got tied to the wrong narrative. That's how fast it can slip.
That's why we keep saying, your reputation isn't something you build once and forget. It's alive, it evolves, and you have to stay in the driver's seat. You have to know what you're known for and if that aligns with who you actually are.
So maybe that's the real power move here. Alignment. When your actions, your values, and your public image are all in sync, you move with clarity, with purpose, and that's when people start to trust your name without question.
And that trust, that's what gets you invited to the next level. That's what earns you private opportunities, silent respect, and space in rooms where real power is being moved.
So here's the challenge we want to leave you with. Ask yourself, what does my name trigger in a room I've just left? Not what you wish it triggered, but what it actually does. What are people saying when you're not there?
It's a hard question, but a necessary one, because that perception, that's your leverage, or your liability, and the sooner you face it, the sooner you can refine it.
So if today's episode sparked something in you, drop it in the comments. What's one thing you'll start doing differently to protect or rebuild your reputation? We read everything, and your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear.
And if you've been getting value from this series, now's the time. Hit subscribe, like the episode, and share it with someone whose name should carry more weight but doesn't yet.
Next week, we're diving into a law that flips things again. Court attention at all costs. It's bold, it's controversial, and it might make you rethink how you show up.
Until then, stay sharp, protect your name, and remember, in the game of power, your reputation is your first line of defense and your final impression.
We'll see you in the next one.
You know, Chloe, the more we talk about reputation, the more I realize this law isn't just about strategy, it's about legacy. It's about the mark you leave behind when the conversation ends, when the room empties, when you're no longer there to defend yourself.
Exactly. And that's why reputation is bigger than image. Image is surface. Reputation is memory. It's the long echo of who you are, or at least who people believe you to be.
And that's what makes it dangerous and powerful. Because if you're not intentional about shaping it, it gets shaped by fragments, rumors, reactions, past mistakes, other people's projections.
And not just in professional spaces, in relationships too. Think about how quickly trust is built or broken based on how people talk about your name. You can trust her. Watch out for him. It's subtle, but it decides everything.
That's why emotional maturity plays such a big role here. Guarding your reputation isn't about paranoia or perfectionism. It's about discipline, about moving like your name has value, even in the small moments.
Like how you respond to being misunderstood, how you handle pressure, whether you gossip or not, whether you stay solid in rooms that reward performance over principle. These are the little tests that shape the bigger perception.
And the truth is, your reputation will walk into rooms you'll never step into. Opportunities, decisions, partnerships, they're being made with you not in the room. All they've got is your name.
So the question becomes, is your name working for you or against you? Is it opening doors silently or closing them before you ever get the chance?
And even deeper, are you proud of the story your reputation tells?
That's the core of Law 5. Guard it with your life, not because you're trying to impress the world, but because you're building something bigger than yourself. Reputation is legacy in motion.
And legacy isn't built in loud moments. It's built in quiet patterns, in how you show up when no one's clapping, when no one's watching. That's the foundation. That's what people remember.
So whether you're building, rebuilding, or just waking up to how powerful this law is, don't waste another minute moving casually. Your name is the strategy. Guard it, shape it, and walk like it matters, because it does.
We'll leave you with that. Heavy, but necessary.
And powerful, just like your presence should be.